Everyone, welcome back to my kitchen. You were in the kitchen with KK. Today we're going to do something fun. It's very quick. It's going to remind you of a replacement for something that brings a lot of nostalgia from childhood especially, and that is pancakes. Okay, so National Blueberry Pancake Day was January the 28th. And I love to give you alternatives because people can't say don't eat pancakes unless, you know what? Have an alternative. Everything that I do, I focus on ingredient quality and what do those ingredients do and respond in your body. I also provide many plant-rich and vegan items because the prevalence today of autoimmune and inflammation is out of control. So we need some options. You don't necessarily need to be fully vegan. I don't run that direction, although my body and maybe your body responds very well to a plant-rich diet. And if you've been listening to me long enough, you know that plant-rich food brings you those antioxidants, those nutrients, and raw brings you the enzymes and the undisturbed cooked nutrients that your cells need to do their job. And in just 3 days or 15 years ago, I changed my health just by that way. So that is why I'm so committed to this. But I do love alternatives. Now, in my cookbook, you know that I'm a functional and integrative health coach. I love to focus on getting to the root cause of disease, and that's what a functional doctor will focus on, not your symptoms, the root cause. And rooted in the root cause of nearly every disease is a form of inflammation in the body, okay? And my book, Simple Cooking for Vitality, has got rid of those two major players today, which are gluten and dairy. Yep, sorry, my grandfather had a dairy farm, and I grew up in Vermont, so I know the connection to dairy, but it does not respond well in the majority of people's bodies and is responsible for mucus, which you do not want anything to do with, especially during flu season. So in Simple Cooking for Vitality and the bone marrow circulation system section, I've got a powerhouse protein pancake. Now that was a game changer. I made that back in, I think, 2018. And the book came out and people love it. So I was using pumpkin seed protein powder, or you can just grind up pumpkin seeds like I teach you to do in your kitchen in a coffee grinder. Now, this one has eggs in it, but it's a game changer because you feel great for hours. What does that mean? That means you're not having processed carbs jack up your insulin and your glucose and then drop it down again and make you hungry, doing nothing really good in your body. This is delivering many non-heme iron, lots of protein. It's got all the amino acids of a perfect protein plus a total of 18. So in just under 3/4 of a cup, you're going to get over 32 grams of protein. 10, just in 1/4 of a cup, you're going to get 10 grams. So this is an easy way to get more protein. And I talk a lot about that. But today what we're going to do, because at one of my favorite raw vegan restaurants that focuses on living foods, and by the way, living foods is how you heal your body. They have a dehydrated buckwheat pancake, and for my liking, was just a little bit too dehydrated. I'm going to show you how to do it. You do not even need a dehydrator. We've got the oven on 170. Simple ingredients, right? So and let us get back to buckwheat, because if you saw some of my recent videos, and if you haven't, go back, because I did a beautiful buckwheat porridge. Now, I have friends that are trying to gain weight. When you're trying to gain weight, it does not give you the license to go eat junk food. Processed carbs are no good for your body. In fact, we're in kidney season right now, and the kidneys do not like processed carbs. Okay, the liver doesn't love them either, but those little nephrils, those little powers of energy in two of your kidneys that are filtering your blood, they get dampened, they get weakened. And at this time of year, you need to build that up. So the last thing you want is a lot of processed carbs, gluten. So traditional pancakes are a no-no in my book. I avoid them. I make alternatives. But these are something you can do at home. You can even freeze them, and they're super easy to warm up. All right. So stick with me because buckwheat, as you know from my previous, it's filled with antioxidants. It's filled with nutrients that go beyond the vitamins, just the magnesium and thiamine alone, which is B1, which helps your metabolism, 30%, 20% volume of magnesium. And then zinc, 10%. You need a lot of zinc at this time of the year for your immune system. So buckwheat is perfect. This gives you an opportunity to prep extra buckwheat, not just for the pancakes, because you can make a buckwheat tabbouleh. I make a beautiful quinoa tabbouleh, but you can also use it that way. You can also cook buckwheat with roasted vegetables. I would say start with a wok with vegetables, add the buckwheat to it. Oh my God, it's amazing. Okay, even putting it into a roasted vegetable curry sauce, right? Now you're getting more sustenance. So if you need to gain weight, you need good food to do that, not empty carbs from white bread, white flour, white rice, and those things. So buckwheat is perfect in that sense. So I've made a little extra. We just need 2 cups. I've already prepared it. Buckwheat is very simple, like all the other grains. It's basically a 2-to-1. So now you can cook it in a little bit of coconut milk, right? And when you buy your coconut cream in a can, PBA free, make sure there's no guar gum, 0 guar gum. You got to read those labels. And if I open up a jar and a can, I'll just put it in a jar in the refrigerator and save the rest for using because we're going to use a little today. I cook this in water, 2 cups of water, 1 cup of dry buckwheat. You just cook it down and look how much we have here. It's beautiful. And we're going to add that to the bowl here. I'm going to save the rest because I do love a good buckwheat porridge. I got double sweaters on today, guys. It's still cold in South Florida here. And which is nice for us. You know, you actually burn more energy when it's cold, but then you start craving things. Your body's craving to get warmed up. So that's when, if you do eat meat and enjoy meat, it is a great time to make like a bison stew or something like that, a slow cooked stew. Very, very simple, similar to my flaxseed and oatmeal, super easy 5-ingredient muffins that are super clean without any eggs, any sugar, or any flour. We're going to whip up 2 bananas here. And if they're small bananas, do 3 because these are a decent size. So we're going to whip them up and make a nice cream to throw in there. And then we're going to use about probably a 1/2 cup. Now, I've only made these a few times. We're perfecting this, but we want enough flaxseed in there to get some firmness with holding together your pancake. And I'm actually going to add a little bit of coconut cream right now. So that's at least a tablespoon. I just want this to be extra creamy. Okay, and the only other thing we're putting in is some spices. This is super crazy, easy peasy. And all the lumps. Now, always good to have on hand one of these slim spatulas. One with a longer handle is even great as well. That way you can get the sides all wiped down, nice. We're gonna just pour that over the buckwheat. And if you stick with me, I hope you do, you can fast forward. But you know, I love giving you little helpful tidbits. That's what this channel is all about. It's not just about the recipe. It's about the inspiration of how food is so important for healing your body. That is the inspiration behind my cookbook, Simple Cooking for Vitality. Your body knows what to do. It just needs the ingredients. Your cells are programmed to heal and repair. Okay. And it needs the right tools to do the job. And in the wintertime, you need to be eating less. You need to be sleeping more. Your body needs to be cleaning up. Those kidneys are one of your filtering organs. So it's a really great time to relieve the body of extra toxins. Let's get the spatula over here. Let's give this a nice whip. So sweeten naturally with bananas. Now you can gauge the amount of sweetness in the bananas. I like them just after green, not too ripen here. You're going to be getting your sweetness from the blueberries that will be added after. And I'm going to show you how to make a super easy, quick almond butter maple cream that we're going to fill the center with. Okay, so this is nice and light, and it's definitely going to need the flaxseed. Some of these buckwheat can be a little lumpy. Here, I'm just patting them down. Okay, please grind your own flaxseed. It takes 10 seconds, all right? But you have the freshest, most amazing lignans or your antioxidant in the flaxseed. Yes, there's so many other nutrients there, the omega-3s off the chart, the fiber off the chart. And you guys hear we need more fiber, right? You've been hearing it for years. Fiber keeps you filled up longer. Fiber helps you grab onto the stuff the body's trying to get rid of, to relieve and work through the colon. So we need lots of it. We need lots of ways to get more of it. Forgot how much my little scoop is about a quarter cup. We're going to put in at least a half a cup here. So I need one more. Okay. Get at least a half a cup of your ground flaxseed in there. And then we're going to mix this up. And we're going to let it sit for a little bit, just to let the flaxseed. If you've ever made any of my recipes with flax eggs, you mix them with water, you let them sit, and they get a little bit gelatinous, right? And so we're going to let that do this here. We do not need to add any more of the coconut milk. There was plenty, just adding a tablespoon to the, and you don't even have to if you don't want to. But so coconut milk, what does it do? It gives you those medium chain fatty acids. All right, beautiful. I'm going to clean up. This is going to set. We're going to be right back. If you enjoy my videos, please give me a thumbs up, but stay tuned. This is going to be amazing. I'm going to show you how to get it onto the pan. Okay, so that was perfect timing to let this sit with the flaxseed. Listen, I actually put in a little bit more. So about 3/4 of a cup of flaxseed, mix in with this, because that is the perfect way to hold it together, create less time that you have to be dehydrating it, give you way more nutrients. And those bananas will still, high, but now you've got lots of fiber in this. So you've got a lot of staying power when you eat these pancakes. I'm telling you, once these are done, you're going to be so amazed. You're definitely going to want to try them. The other thing we have to add in, I love to get some spices in there. At least a half a teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon here. And you don't have to put in nutmeg. I do like nutmeg though. So you can just sprinkle some or put in a 1/4 teaspoon. Love nutmeg. Freshly ground nutmeg is amazing on top of things, especially a warm frothed almond milk. And by the way, I talk about milk all the time. It froths amazing. Just so simple and delicious in your frother. If you have an espresso frother, so creamy and rich. Or if you blend up, because I make chai lattes and I make homemade matcha lattes. When you whip that up, it's so creamy and delicious. All right, let's get this mixed in, and then we're going to use a 1/3 of a cup measure just to put, see, these are much thicker now. See the consistency here? Perfect. Not too sloppy. We're going to use a 1/3 of a cup measure. This is how I make my plant-based burgers as well. Measuring them out also gives them a little bit of form to start with. So we're going to smack them onto the pan here. This is a parchment paper covered pan. I probably should have been wearing my gloves because that's going to be helpful. We're going to shape these into a little bit wider circles. I probably should have used the next size up to, this is a a sided cookie sheet or roasting pan, whatever you want to call it. You can also make them smaller. So we have enough to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I was hoping to get 6. If we make them a little smaller, we can. I'm going to rob from a few of these. And we're going to be dehydrating these at 170. The oven is set. It's the lowest temperature. When you turn on an electric oven, it comes on at 350. Okay, we're stealing a little from this one as well. All right, perfect. Now we're just going to shape these. You just pat them down and shape them. These are going to go in the oven for 2 hours, okay? And then I'm going to come back. I'm going to show you how to make a filling. And with just simple almond butter, my favorite brand, the Artisana brand, with real maple syrup. Don't get tricked at a restaurant. They will sneak in because maple syrup is not cheap and they're trying to cut their costs. You'll know, I'm from Vermont. We used to make maple syrup, so I know exactly what it tastes like. They're going to be sneaking in agave syrup, high fructose corn syrup. You don't want any of that. Your liver hates that type of sugar, fructose. It is not good at all. Whereas maple syrup is loaded with minerals, okay, and nutrients. Fantastic. Is it sweet? Yes, but it's also healthful. Now we have 6 patties, all right? So 1 serving is going to be 2 of these with berries on top. So you've got 3 servings. So if it's just you, then you've got enough to put into the freezer or refrigerator. These will last several days, but you can also freeze them. So we're going to get them into the oven. They're uncovered in the oven 2 hours, all right, at least. And so I'll see you back here. I've got a lot to do in those 2 hours. Thanks for tuning in again. Hi there. I'm super excited to get these out. I'm feeling so invigorated during that 2 hours. I was able to bundle up and go to the beach and read and really get some amazing grounding on in my body. And yes, it was only 53 degrees, but it was super sunny. So let's get these out. I tested the top. They're perfect. See them? So they are dried out, but when you they're not too dry. That's the thing. And the back side is going to be nice and moist. So what I do is I'm going to dress up 2 on the plate, but these are perfect containers, something small, glass with a lid down. You've seen my prep containers before. So all I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to leave them on the parchment so you don't have to disturb them. And we're going to store 4 of these and we're going to dress up the other ones, okay? So all we're going to do is we're just going to fold them like this. They're already ready to go in the pouch. And those are going to stay perfect. I'm going to put 1 in the refrigerator and 1 in the freezer. These are perfect to have after you do fitness in the morning, exercise. You actually want to exercise before you have anything to eat. You can strip out that beautiful stored glycogen. It helps you to get to your metabolic goals and helps you to create this better energy when you do eat and making sure that you're ready. So now when these are warm, now when you want to heat those up, all you do is you just place them on a sheet, a small sheet, put it on a low broil just for a few minutes, and you put that side down that's a little more moist, and you just warm them up. That's it, because you don't want to overheat these. And see how beautiful this is? So it's nice and thick, and it's moist. I'm going to put the moist side in the center. Put this one to the side, because what we're going to make now is a delicious maple butter. You can use maple syrup, but you can use pure maple syrup only. Remember that. I prefer Vermont, we have family friends that my mother sends it down to me, so that's perfect. Let's get this out of the way. An oven at 170 is not so hot that you can't hold this pan, which is great. And this is wonderful. So now in a small dish, you can do it in a small dish because you can just mix it like this. You don't need to whip it into a little container and a blender. You can if you want, but start with a very high quality almond butter. Okay, so I've tried many brands. You can try them also. Line them up, taste them. I am positive 99.9% you're going to choose this one as the best of the ones you taste. I'm all about quality. This doesn't have a ton of oil on top. Just the quality is so immensely above. All right, it's worth it. You're not going to be eating nut butter every day. It's good to have on a few things, but if you're eating proper meals, remember, you don't require snacks. In fact, snacks are very detrimental. In fact, no snacks at night during the winter season because you want to let your body just do its thing without interruption. So I mixed a little bit up just to see how it's going to be. And so let's just take, a couple tablespoons, depending on how many people you're going to feed with this. But the nut butter is going to add good fats. Almonds are naturally alkaline nut. They're the only alkaline nut along with chestnuts. Remember that. So you're going to get more protein here, more fiber, and good amounts of nutrients as well. But what you're also going to get is the ability with everything here, the fats, the good fats, the protein, and the fiber. You're going to slow down the way the body uses this extra glucose. So here another about 2 tablespoons, and that should be fine for what we're going to do. And then we have some beautiful organic blueberries. So we're making our own delicious blueberry pancakes made with really beautiful sustaining energy buckwheat and flax seeds. So I know I just kind of whipped this up, just made it out of my head because I've tried different ones. Now you're saying, Kimberly, could we add maybe if we don't want to add all of that flaxseed, could we add some ground up pumpkin seed? Sure. It's just that flax seeds tend to absorb a lot of water, super, super high in fiber. Of course, the pumpkin seeds are going to be higher in protein, not too much. So now this is what I have. So this is like a nut spread, but it's not too thick. So it's not going to wreck these. And the perfect place to put them will be in the center. I'm going to put the rest of this in a glass jar, and then I can enjoy it on. So now we're just going to almost make this like it's a sandwich. There we go. We'll put a little bit on top. Just let it drizzle over the sides. Okay. And the fresh blueberries here. Just incredible. So I hope you give this a try. We need to have alternatives out there to get away from the conventional, ultra processed and ultra refined carbs that the kidneys do not like and the body does not like and does not help our overall metabolic process. And this is going to make you feel incredible for hours. All right. So thanks for tuning in today, guys. You see how easy that was. And like I said, don't forget with the buckwheat, that's extra. You can add vegetables to that. You can add it to things. Think of it like a quinoa. So many unique things that you can do with it. So I'm glad that you tuned in today. I hope you had a fun time getting creative here with KK in the kitchen. Bye.